Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Hairapy Sessions with Cindy. This is part two of my conversation with my good friend Buhle Tsotsi. And there was just so much to unpack and to just chat about in our last session that I decided to extend it over 2 episodes. So please help me welcome back my good friend Buhle. Hi, girl.
Hi. Hey, girl.
So B, in the last episode, you were chatting about how your experience after your mom cut your hair. You know, you're a grade 9 girl, teenage girl, tough period of your life. Personally, I only think teenagers only become human like from grade 10 onwards, because especially in grade 9 is such a tricky year. I remember my grade 9 year was just an absolute mess. It's just a tricky year, right? So within that context, you're trying to figure out who you are and like your looks and your place in the world, and navigating what is already a difficult experience to navigate. On top of that, now you're confronted with all these insecurities, right? And you said something interesting about some of those insecurities being rooted in this belief, this ideology that as a woman, as a girl, your beauty stems from what grows out of your head, right? And if there isn't anything growing out of your head, there's a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you tied femininity to hair? And what's it been like now? You know, after all these years having hair, finally just cutting it off all over again. And can you contrast what you felt then and what you feel now, particularly where femininity are concerned?
I remember when I was young, I was called boy. I think I just didn't look like a girl because, for whatever reasons. There was a man who, when I was like 1-2 years old, would say, "My gosh, this girl, are you sure it's a girl? Because she don't look like a girl." And how after, when I was a teenager, after some years, when I was a teenager, he saw me again. I was like, "Oh, was this a boy? She's a girl now." And so I think I remember being called a boy. And so when I cut my hair, the first time I remember cutting my hair was when I was in grade 2. That's when my mom cut my hair because it was uneven and it was long back then. And then she cut it. And I had all those remarks from people in my community. It's a small community, and everyone knows everyone, and families know family. So everyone knew our family, and family knew everyone. And so everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a boy, you're a boy, you're a boy, you're a boy." And the way they said it wasn't necessarily malicious, but they were teasing me, and I didn't like being teased. And so I took it as a bad thing, and trying not to be a boy, I think I was glad when my hair grew out again and I could do all those different hairstyles. So cutting my hair in grade 9, with my face shape still being the way it is, still looking like how I look, not fully matured yet, but still in the process, I just didn't want to be a boy again. Being an all-girls school, obviously, I didn't want to be called a boy. Like, my family, my mom has, my gosh, this huge afro, thick, horsey hair, thick, full, luscious, rich, black, dark, long. My gosh, it was just this beautiful mane, and she took care of it and she loved it. So for me, and I always aspired to that. So seeing her afro, I was just like, my gosh, that hair, I want that hair. And my sisters also have hair, and they have froze or relaxed or whatever. So for me, I wanted to have hair, and hair equals femininity. It just it was just one of those things that just made you look more female. I remember just cutting my hair. It took 2 days. What I mean by that is I went to the salon, to the barber. I went to the barber, first time ever in a barber shop.
Yeah.
And I sat there for 5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And not because there was a long line, because I wanted my own time. The person who was about to cut my hair for the first time, who I had just met for the first time. I had never seen him. He had never seen me. He don't know me. He came recommended by people, by my colleagues and friends. So I was like, cool, I'll go to this place to this person. And it was weird because community members that I knew, like they would come and they're like, why are you here? And I'd be like, I'm going to cut my hair. And I'd be like, don't do that. So every single time, and it was mostly men who came in to cut their hair, they would be like, don't do that. One dude was like, this one dude who was like, you sure you're going to cut your hair? I'm like, mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't think I'm going to like you after today. You without your hair. Listen.
Can we actually zero in on that? Because, and again, I touch on this when I share my story later on in the series. Just having like different people react in different ways to you and your short hair, right? And there's a sense of communal ownership over like women's bodies in general, but especially if like you have a distinctive hair type or hairstyle or whatever, and people feel emotionally tied to it. So when I shaved my head, like people were a little bit mad at me for, they're like, your afro was so beautiful, why did you do it? No, like, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I appreciate your interest in my hair and my hair journey and your emotional involvement, but it's still my hair, so kind of back off a little bit, Sparky.
Yeah.
But it was interesting how a lot of the time, like most of the negative remarks were from men, and I was grateful that I had done some work for myself, that by the time those remarks came, I could say, listen, I'm not trying to attract you. I didn't do this for you. I best believe you're not my type, like trying to be like, you have no say here, my guy. Regardless of what it's about, hair, body, anything, you have no say here. I do not give you permission to comment on my body because it doesn't belong to you, firstly. And secondly, again, I'm not trying to attract you. So when you were hearing those comments from those men who were like, oh, I don't think I'm going to like you anymore, what was going through your mind? What was your reaction?
So with certain people, most comments have been, you're different. Not necessarily you look ugly. Not necessarily your hair's bad, but just you're different. So I think that's how I've navigated this commentary or this ownership over my hair. And I understand. I mean, I also think like it took me a while to get used to myself before I could look myself in the mirror and be like, that's your face. And it's going to be like this for some time. So yeah, I wasn't as negatively affected as I thought I would be, surprisingly. I think because I was just ready. I was ready to cut my hair. I was sure I was going to do this and I wasn't going to turn back.
So fast forward to after the 5 hours of you waiting on the couch at the barber shop, when you finally cut your hair, and you saw it falling, you saw those beautiful long locks falling on your shoulders, what was going through your mind?
I was freaking out. Because it was a barber and it was mostly men there. I remember I tried to, and men that I knew. Sure. There was a pastor that I knew who was sitting behind me waiting to have his hair cut. Sure. So I was like, okay, I can't speak out. This is not that kind of space that would just welcome a random chick freaking out. So it was the first time I felt clippers on my head and that vibrating zzz, and I remember like being specific, like don't cut it all, just cut like like that much, and then like I was so specific to that dude. I was like, gradually cut it bit by bit, and then we'll see if I'm comfortable with this level. And I literally went like, oh! I was trying to breathe very deeply without screaming, and it was shocking. My mind was like, oh God, you did this. What were you thinking? What are you doing? What were you doing? Oh my gosh, you're going to die. You didn't tell your mom. You freak out.
You didn't tell your mom?
I didn't tell anyone. I just cut my hair. I just cut my hair. So once he cut my hair, it was a process because he cut my hair and then we saw the length and I was like, okay, it was fine. And because I wanted to do an ES curl, that hairstyle, I first went to the salon that I usually go to, asked them if the length was the right length, and they were like, no, cut it more. I was like, oh hell, these people are just trying me. I can't cut no more, then I'll be bald. So it was like a back and forth until I got my hair like the right length. Yeah. I remember looking at myself in the mirror and just like, this is your face. This is your face. Like, this is you, girl. That's how you look like. Yeah, I was just checking in my face and my head shape. And when I heard my mom come in, I literally jumped out the corner and I was like, surprise! Just like, whoa, what did you do this? And all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I wanted to cut my hair because of this and this and that and that and that. And she's like, it looks different, but it looks good. Yeah, it suits you. She said that I look similar to my aunt, her sister, and I've never seen her with long hair. Her hair is literally this length, and she looks good with short hair. She looks good just with super short hair. I've never seen her with long hair. So when she said that, I was like, oh, okay, I can take it. I can take it.
So B, after you cut your hair, now you've shown it to the world, you've shown it to your best friend, your sisters, your mom. But when you went to work, when you were going to do the big reveal to the rest of the world now, was there some sort of pressure to adorn yourself in a way that almost detracted from it? Can you walk us through what your thinking was around that?
I felt weird showing my hair to too many people at the same time. So luckily, well, okay, not luckily, but the lockdown was about, schools were forced to close, I think, on the 18th. So the learners had to go home, which meant that it was just my colleagues and I. So I was like, okay, cool. I can do my colleagues and I, not 900 people all at once. So I remember I made sure that I had some makeup on, looked cute, and not because I didn't want to look cute because I had different hair, but just because I wanted to dress it up. I wanted it to be a big reveal. I wanted to look good. I wanted to feel good at the same time. And also I like dressing up. So, and people know me. I dress up usually at work. So I dressed up. I was cute. I was in heels. Had my cool earrings on. And it was great. People's responses were like, whoa, you cut your hair. But at the same time, they're like, you look so good. It's just different, but you look good. From everyone. I had a couple of people tell me that I look 10 years younger, that I should go back to high school.
Oh my gosh.
Very surprising.
Sure.
It was very surprising for me. I was like, oh, y'all just exaggerate. And now it's a bit too much. But I really enjoyed it. And I did feel that I had to do something, not necessarily to distract, but to, I want to say compliment So I did wear sort of big or noticeable earrings. I felt like I needed to wear makeup because it just felt like all you saw was my face and my skin. And that was just a little too much spotlight all at once for me. So even though I don't really wear makeup, the past few years I've worn makeup like once a year, twice a year. So, but that week I was just makeup 3 days straight because I just felt too exposed and too naked.
I can relate so much to what you're saying about feeling, especially in the beginning, that there was a sense of or pressure to almost overcompensate or detract a little bit, but not really. But more so the pressure that, okay, now everyone is going to be looking at you because this is new. Everyone is going to be commenting, and you need to almost give them something nice to look at. And again, this leads into just the deep-seated belief that it's our job to be beautiful and pretty and attractive, when it's actually not our job. But just reflecting on my own experience, it was interesting for me to go through, and for you it was makeup, because you were talking about how when your hair is short, particularly this short, all people are looking at is your face. All people are looking at is your skin, and if there are insecurities around that, they will come to light. You will be fiercely confronted with them. And for me, like for you, it was wearing makeup, because I mean, just even hearing that you were wearing makeup every day for a week, I'm just like, who are you? Because knowing you, like, you wouldn't touch makeup whenever you like were in the room when I was doing my makeup, you would almost like roll your eyes at me because it was just never your thing. But to hear that you went a whole week and you were just putting on makeup.
I know.
And for me, it was a case of I never really liked big earrings, dangly earrings. I always stuck to studs. I only got my first pair of hoop earrings maybe 3 years ago. And even then, they sat in my jewelry box for a while. I was kind of wary about wearing them, and it just wasn't my style. And I also didn't want too much going on, right? And when I cut my hair, it wasn't immediately, but after that, I just started this incredible earring collection, and I really loved my earrings. But it was what started off as a case of trying to detract and trying to overcompensate for things that weren't there, right? Because I also think hair is an accessory. It's the ultimate accessory. So I felt like I needed to accessorize with other things. And it went from that, feeling the need to accessorize as a means to overcompensate, to actually what you touched on at some point, that actually who makes the rules? Who says I can't wear bright colors? Who says I can't wear these big dangly earrings? Who says I can't wear loud jewelry? Who says, you know? And for me, going from, you know, I need to stick to my studs, because big earrings don't suit me. They suit other people, but they just don't suit me. And I was like, actually, they look great on me, and I need to own that. And now they've almost become like a signature look. It's part of my signature look. But now I can wear my studs or no earrings, and I can adorn myself with these massive hoop on hoop earrings that are mini masterpieces on my ears. And I enjoy that, and I've enjoyed playing around with my aesthetic and what I feel like is my signature look. And I think something as life-changing, I'll use life-changing because I think it is to a certain extent. Something as life-changing as cutting your hair makes you reevaluate everything, makes you reevaluate the way you've done things, and why you've done them like that, and the rules that you've stuck to that other people have made, and makes you think, actually, who made these rules and why am I following them? So I could really relate to that.
I remember because I had spent like a whole day deciding whether to cut my hair or not cut my hair, and I was in a salon at barber for like 5 hours. I remember speaking to another friend who had cut her hair some years ago, and she has kept it short and she loves it, and she's like rolls it, and she's got like just beautiful. It's her. I remember her saying that, a woman ready to cut her hair is a woman ready to make change. Or changes in her life.
The Coco Chanel quote, a woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life.
Yes, I didn't know what Coco Chanel.
Yeah, it's Coco.
Wow.
It's Coco.
Well, Coco spoke to me that day. She came through from the heavens, and she's fucking, she's like, girl, make that change. And I remember thinking to myself, actually, I'm changing just how I see myself. And it's funny, I haven't spent this long looking at myself and you. I haven't spent this long because usually it's the morning when I'm doing my face or like just spraying my hair in a minute and I'm done. The rest of the day, I'm not really looking at myself. I don't do that. So there's a lot of me time also looking at my face. And really, it is a change. Because it's like how I see myself, how people see me, how they relate to me now, how they refer to me is also a bit different. I had to get used to people's, like, there's almost like a delay, like a 1 or 2 second delay. The first few days of people seeing me with short hair, of when they were like speaking to me. It's almost like they were like, oh, yeah, got short hair, this is her face. And I also had to realize, they're seeing me with short hair. They try to take that in, and now we can resume with whatever the conversation is. And I don't know, it's quite interesting having people see me. You mentioned that, if you have insecurities with your skin or your face or something, it's quite a lot to have this just in people's faces. And I've had like that in my whole life, and fat teeth my whole life, so I've had those insecurities brought to life. And one of the reasons I wanted to wear makeup, I was just like, I can't have 5 circles in one. I have to choose one. So, I can't have bad skin and short hair and insecurities. I have to at least minimize one. And after getting used to my face, even without makeup, I think I just enjoy myself a little bit more. I haven't had much opportunity to socialize and interact with people since the lockdown, but in a sense, I guess I'm glad because I'm used to myself. I'm used to how I look from different angles, and I enjoy, like you, wearing earrings. Also, wasn't earring because I love earrings and just expressing myself through my earrings. I can't express myself much through my hair, but I can through my earrings. So yeah, it's an interesting little woman who cuts her hair is ready to make change. Because whether she's ready or not to make change is going to happen.
Change will come. It will be thrust upon
you. Yeah. So it's been a good journey. It's been refreshing. It's been a change, definitely.
You mentioned how when you got used to your face and just bearing it all, because you didn't have a choice now, there was no hair to hide behind. The more you got used to your face, the more you actually started liking your new look and just the new bee, basically, or the bee that was always there, but now just a different version of the bee that was always there. How did you get used to your face? Was it a case of I'm looking at myself more and more in the mirror. I'm just sitting in the discomfort. What did that look like?
Oh, that's weird. Actually, I didn't really think about it that way. I mean, the day I cut my hair, I got home, any shadow of me, I just avoided. Every time I walked past the mirror, I was just like, oh, no, can't see that. For about a day or 2 days. And then after that, because I had to go to school, I had to go to work, I had to do my face, I had to, be all grown up. I think I just got used to myself that way. I think what also really helped is that my colleagues, the commentary from my colleagues, I think that really helped. I'm a person who appreciates words of affirmation. So them just being like, oh, you look good, or, you're a little bit boyish, but you're a good-looking boyish type of situation. And the jokes that transpired in the first few days really helped me. We are a group of people who, if somebody's dressing up for that day, we won't just be like, she dressed up. We will be like, girl, you dressed up. Let's take photos. Let's see those earrings. Let's see how you look. And, we comment on how the person looks that day just to boost up their morale. So that helped me a lot. Yeah, just being okay with the compliments, being okay with my face, and just being like, no way back, let's go forward. Just you. It wasn't let me stare at myself until I memorize every second bit of my face. It was just receiving what people said, taking it in, and be like, okay, cool. We can do this life then with this face and this hair. We can do this. Yeah.
It's been really great to hear some of my experiences with my hair journey, and particularly after I shaved my head, just mirrored in you telling your story. And I think it's so great to feel like one of the reasons I started Hairapy Sessions was to have people seeing mirror images of themselves on screen, seeing their experiences and their ways of being mirrored on the screen in front of them. And it's just been so special to have that done for me through you. It's super emotional. It's really great. I'm just so struck by everything that you've been saying, and I'm particularly struck by how there was such a sense of vulnerability when you went to work, when you were now faced with the outside world, and you knew you were going to be subjected to quite a bit of scrutiny. And how you mentioned your colleagues almost just showered you with affirmation. And the same thing happened to me. The minute I stepped out of Nandi's house and walked home after she had shaved my head, bumping into a couple of people I knew and them just affirming me. And I was just in a place where I was like, what have I done? There's no going back now. I have to find ways to hide this. I have to find head wraps and scarves and hats and all sorts of things to hide it. But I'm just so struck by how this doesn't just appeal or relate to major hair changes. It appeals to everyday life. How many moments in our lives where we wear something, where we try something new, where we try a particular outfit, try a particular color that we've never worn before or don't wear that often. And we step out into the world and we just wait for scrutiny, and we almost wait with one eye open, and almost like there's an anxiety that accompanies that.
Yeah.
And it'll just take one person to make or break your self-esteem in that split second. And I wonder if I've been the person who has mirrored back the insecurities or mirrored the truth back to them and reinforced the good, and instead of reinforcing those insecurities, and that we all have such amazing opportunities in front of us to reinforce the truth, to reinforce the good things instead of the bad, and to call out the treasure in people, and to make them feel safe and say, yes, you're more than what you're presenting, you're more than your hair, you're more than your skirt, you're more than the pink lipstick that you were nervous about wearing, but they'll look really good. And I'm going to reinforce that. I think I'm going to end that there. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me. Thank you for sharing your experiences and your vulnerability. And most importantly, thank you for mirroring my experiences, and just being such a great way to cathartically unpack my personal experiences with you, and to hear your experiences as well. It's been really great, and I feel super privileged to be your friend, to walk through that with you.
Thank you for having me. I haven't really shared much about my hair because we just do that in our everyday life. So it was quite something going through these different stages of my life and transitions, and thinking through them and what it meant to be putting a finger to a thought or an emotion and working through that, or seeing progress. It's been good. It's been really good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much to everyone who's been watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please share. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If anything that we've spoken about today has resonated with you in any way, I'd love to hear that. Comment below or slide into my DMs, whatever. Just let me know if something you've heard here, you've seen here has resonated with you. I really would like to hear from you. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Hairapy Sessions, and I hope to see you soon.